Welcome to my channel, Valuable Coins All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. Every now and then, a simple coin from our everyday lives becomes the centerpiece of fascination, value, and mystery. Today, we're going to talk about one such coin that may just be hiding unnoticed in your coin jar, desk drawer, or even in your pocket change. This isn't just any ordinary coin. It's the 1966 Lincoln 1-cent penny from the United States of America. With no mint mark, a rich red-brown color, and a traditional copper-plated zinc composition, this coin holds more secrets than meets the eye. And believe it or not, in rare cases, this humble penny has fetched a jaw-dropping price of $193,000. The Lincoln cent has been a mainstay of American currency since 1909. Introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the penny underwent several changes over the decades. The coin we're focusing on today was struck in 1966, right in the middle of a very fascinating and transitional period in U.S. minting history. And it's this period that gives the 1966 penny its unique characteristics and potential high value. Let's begin with the basics. The 1966 Lincoln penny has a weight of 3.11 grams, a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.55 millimeters. Its round shape is instantly recognizable, and its composition of copper-plated zinc with a red-brown hue makes it distinct among collectors. But what really makes this penny special isn't just how it looks, it's what it represents and the anomalies that can be found in it. In 1966. The United States Mint was recovering from a massive coin shortage that occurred earlier in the decade. To combat this, the Mint temporarily suspended the use of mint marks in 1965, 1966, and 1967. So, although the 1966 penny was struck in multiple locations, Philadelphia and Denver, for example, it bears no mint mark, creating uniformity that adds an extra layer of intrigue for collectors. The absence of a mint mark in itself doesn't make a coin valuable, but combined with condition, rarity, and unique minting errors, it becomes a different story. High-grade 1966 pennies, especially those that remain in uncirculated or mint-state condition, are extremely rare today. And rarer still are the ones with unique errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet anomalies, that make them particularly sought after by numismatists. One of the most valuable elements that can raise a 1966 penny's worth is the presence of die varieties, especially double die obverse (DDO) errors. These errors occur during the minting process when the die imprints the design onto the coin more than once, creating a subtle but noticeable doubling of features like the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. Collectors love these rare varieties, and when they show up on a coin like the 1966 Lincoln cent, the bidding wars at auction houses can reach sky-high figures. Another potential error seen in some rare 1966 pennies is die breaks, which leave unusual raised lines or marks on the coin's surface. These accidents from the mint's machines are the kind of flaws that coin collectors treasure because they mean fewer copies of that exact coin exist, making it truly one-of-a-kind. Let's talk about the coin's color. The red-brown hue of the 1966 penny is considered ideal among collectors. The color represents a balance between its original luster and the natural toning that occurs over time. A coin that has retained much of its red shine while developing a warm brown tone is incredibly attractive in the numismatic world. Combine that with pristine details, full rims, and clean fields, and you have a coin that's ready to earn premium status. But what truly sets this coin apart in terms of value is condition. Coins graded MS65 or higher, meaning mint-state coins with minimal contact marks and nearly perfect details, are exceptionally rare for this issue. Most 1966 pennies were used and circulated for decades, making well-preserved examples nearly impossible to find. Those that survived untouched are now treated as true gems. Now imagine finding such a coin, flawless red-brown color, full strike, a rare double die error, and no mint mark, all wrapped into one. This is the kind of coin that makes collectors pause and pay attention. It is not merely a penny, it's a piece of American minting history, a relic from a transitional era, and a masterpiece of unintended uniqueness, and the market reflects this reality. In recent years, extraordinary specimens of the 1966 Lincoln cent have been evaluated and auctioned for incredible sums. In a highly publicized case, a flawless 1966 penny with an extremely rare error and stunning mint condition sold for a staggering $193,000. Let that sink in for a moment. A coin with a face value of 1 cent reaching a six-figure price at auction. It's the kind of discovery that turns casual collectors into serious hunters and transforms forgotten jars of coins into treasure troves. So, what should you do if you think you have a 1966 Lincoln penny that could be worth something? Start by checking its weight. 3.11 grams is your target. Then examine its condition under a good light or magnification. Look for sharp details, especially in Lincoln's hair and coat, the clarity of the lettering, and whether the surfaces show signs of doubling. If you suspect you've got something special, consider having it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Coin collecting is not just a hobby. It's a journey through history, a way of preserving tiny yet powerful pieces of our past. The Lincoln penny has long been a symbol of humility, endurance, and timeless value. And in rare cases, like the 1966 no-mint mark red-brown beauty we've explored today, it can become a life-changing discovery. So, next time you're handed a penny and change, take a closer look. It might not just be pocket change, it could be a hidden gem. And maybe, just maybe, it could be worth $193,000. Top 2. In the world of coin collecting, it's often the most unassuming pieces of metal that carry the richest stories. Today, we journey into the world of a coin so small in value, yet so powerful in its rarity and historical intrigue, the 1967 Lincoln 1 cent penny from the United States of America. Though it may seem like just another coin from everyday change, this particular year and variety holds secrets and surprises that have stunned collectors across the nation. With no mint mark, a red-brown finish, and hidden gems found in its variations and condition, some of these coins have been valued at an astonishing amount. Up to $183,000. Let's start by appreciating the physical traits of this humble coin. The 1967 Lincoln penny weighs 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.55 millimeters, and features the familiar round shape that has defined American cents for over a century. It is composed of copper-plated zinc, giving it that recognizable red-brown hue that collectors adore. Despite its everyday appearance, the 1967 issue was part of a very unusual era in the U.S. mint's history, an era that gave rise to a coin like no other. The 1967 penny was minted at a time when the U.S. Mint had temporarily suspended mint marks. This move was part of a broader effort to discourage coin hoarding, which had become a growing problem in the mid-1960s. As a result, number 1967 penny carries a mint mark, even though coins were struck at multiple mint locations. This lack of a mint mark, combined with a high number of coins in circulation and rapid changes in minting procedures, created perfect conditions for inconsistencies, varieties, and rare mint errors to slip through the cracks. So, why is the 1967 penny so special, and what makes it worth so much? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and most notably, mint errors. Among collectors, 1967 Lincoln cents with double die errors are especially sought after. These errors occur when the coin's die, a stamp that impresses the design onto the coin, accidentally shifts slightly during the hubbing process. This causes a doubling effect, usually seen in the coin state, the word liberty, or the phrase "in God we trust." When such a doubling is sharp and visible to the naked eye, it dramatically increases a coin's desirability and value. Then there are off-center strikes, another fascinating and visually striking error. These happen when the blank planchet is not properly aligned with the coin die, causing a portion of the design to be missing and the coin's appearance to be dramatically altered. A significant off-center strike that still includes the full date can make the coin extremely rare and valuable. You also have die cracks, cuds, and struck-through errors, where foreign material gets between the die and planchet during striking. Each of these varieties adds to the uniqueness of the coin, and some collectors will pay top dollar to get their hands on one-of-a-kind mint errors from a transitional year like 1967. But even without errors, the 1967 Lincoln penny in high condition is hard to find. Most coins from this era were heavily circulated, accumulating scratches, wear, and discoloration. A 1967 penny that has survived in pristine, mint-state condition, with sharp features, full luster, and almost no contact marks, is a true rarity. When certified by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC, these coins can reach astonishing values in auctions and private sales. Let's take a moment to talk about color designation, which plays a big role in value. Collectors often look for red-brown, or brown toning on copper coins. Red-brown is especially desirable in older coins like the 1967 penny because it shows that the coin has aged naturally while still retaining a good amount of its original luster. A red-brown Lincoln cent that grades MS-66 or MS-67 can be incredibly scarce, and when paired with a mint error, it becomes a collector's dream, even among ordinary coins. Some 1967 pennies were struck using dies that had not been properly prepared, resulting in weak strikes or slightly misaligned features. While these may not be dramatic errors, they still appeal to numismatists who specialize in die varieties and subtle minting abnormalities. Now imagine a perfect storm, a 1967 Lincoln penny with a sharp double die obverse. A brilliant red-brown color, no mint mark as expected, and an MS-67 grade. It doesn't just blend into the collection. It becomes the centerpiece. This is the kind of coin that catches the eye of major collectors, auction houses, and even museum curators, and that's exactly what's happened. In one notable instance, a rare 1967 Lincoln penny with a dramatic doubling and impeccable preservation sold for an eye-watering $183,000. This is not just the price of a coin, it's the price of history, rarity, and perfection coming together. But how do you know if the penny you have might be worth this kind of fortune? First, check the basics. Does it weigh 3.11 grams? Does it have a flawless surface with minimal contact marks? Look closely at the date and lettering. Do you see any doubling? Use a magnifying glass if needed. If your coin checks several of these boxes, it could be worth submitting to a coin grading service. The small investment in certification can lead to a massive return if your penny turns out to be a high-grade or rare error variety. So the next time you see a penny lying on the sidewalk or tossed in your coin jar, don't ignore it. That 1967 Lincoln 1-cent penny might just be holding a secret of incredible worth. It's a piece of American heritage, a relic of a unique period in minting history, and for the lucky few, it's a literal hidden treasure. And yes, as unbelievable as it may sound, some of these 1967 Lincoln pennies have indeed sold for a staggering $183,000. A tiny coin with a massive story. Keep your eyes open. You never know when your next cent might be worth a small fortune. Top 3. In the captivating world of coin collecting, the treasures that often shine brightest are not always made of silver or gold. Sometimes they are copper. Sometimes they are a humble penny that once passed through thousands of hands unnoticed, until one day, someone realizes the rarity within. Today, let's explore one such fascinating piece, the 1972 Lincoln 1-cent penny with the Denver mint mark, a coin with red-brown toning, a solid copper-plated zinc core, and a quietly extraordinary story. Though it was born in an era of mass production and simplicity, one rare specimen of this coin has fetched an astonishing $153,000, a price that turns heads and sparks curiosity around the world. The Lincoln 1-cent penny, long a staple of American currency since 1909, serves as a tribute to one of the nation's most respected presidents, Abraham Lincoln. But over time, not all Lincoln cents are created equal. Each year brings with it slight changes, minting anomalies, and shifts in production quality, and for seasoned collectors, these nuances are like buried treasure maps leading to coins worth far more than 1 cent. Let's take a close look at the 1972 Lincoln penny. It is a small yet historically rich piece, weighing 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and a thickness of 1.55 millimeters. The color is a charming red-brown, a natural and attractive patina that speaks to its age, composition, and careful preservation. Crafted from copper-plated zinc, this round coin bears the classic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, paired with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that spanned decades and has earned its own legacy. But what truly sets this coin apart? The year 1972 was one of the most intriguing for Lincoln cents due to a wide range of mint errors and variations. While Philadelphia minted 1972 pennies are well known for their dramatic double die obverse errors, the Denver mint issues are rarer and often overlooked, making them even more elusive and desirable when unique varieties are discovered. One of the most captivating features that elevates the 1972 penny to elite status is the presence of rare minting errors. These include examples like off-center strikes, die cracks, die clashes, and even subtle double dyes that are incredibly hard to detect without magnification. While some of these coins may appear ordinary at first glance, those who know what to look for, small notches, overlapping text, or faint ghost images, understand the goldmine they hold. Among the rarest finds is a 1972 D penny with slight doubling in the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." Though not officially recognized as a major double die like its Philadelphia cousin, some Denver-struck 1972 coins exhibit light to moderate doubling due to early die wear or improper die setup. These subtle varieties have become major collector targets due to their rarity and mystery. Another incredibly rare phenomenon is the transitional error, in which a coin is struck on the wrong metal planchet or using a planchet from a different year. Imagine discovering a 1972 D penny mistakenly struck on a leftover bronze or steel planchet, or one that carries a design element not meant for that year. Such finds are extraordinarily rare and can fetch tens of thousands of dollars, or more. Of course, grade matters immensely. While hundreds of millions of 1972 D Lincoln cents were struck, very few were preserved in mint condition. Most entered circulation immediately and experienced the usual wear and tear that comes from daily use. That's why a coin that remains in mint state, especially MS 66 or higher, can command jaw-dropping prices. The finer the condition, no contact marks, full luster, and sharp detail, the more valuable the coin becomes. Professional grading from reputable organizations like PCGS or NGC can confirm the authenticity and quality, and often opens doors to elite auctions and high-profile collectors. Color also plays a role. Copper coins are graded based on color categories: red, RD, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. A well-preserved red-brown coin strikes the perfect balance between natural aging and retained brilliance. A 1972 D Lincoln penny in red-brown MS 66 grade with a confirmed error? That's the kind of coin collectors dream about finding, and the kind that can turn a humble penny into a fortune. Let's not forget the story that surrounds coins like these. Each rare cent carries more than just monetary value. It's a time capsule of American history. The year 1972 marked the heart of the Nixon era, a time of political change, cultural shifts, and economic turbulence. A penny from this year not only represents the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, but also offers a glimpse into the very hands and pockets it may have passed through: factory workers, teachers, students, or even soldiers returning home from Vietnam. Some of the most valuable 1972 D Lincoln pennies have made headlines at auctions, surprising even seasoned dealers. Coins with pristine mint condition, rare strike errors, or visual anomalies have sold for prices that no one would believe until they see the bidding wars erupt. One such specimen, a red-brown 1972 D Lincoln cent with a near-perfect surface and light doubling on the obverse, stunned the collecting community when it reached a final hammer price of $153,000. Yes, that's right. $153,000. For a coin once casually handed out as change, this small copper-plated penny became a powerhouse of numismatic value. And it proves, once again, that some of the greatest treasures can hide in plain sight. So the next time you reach into your pocket or glance through a jar of pennies sitting on your shelf, don't just see coins, see possibilities. The Lincoln cent may be the most humble and overlooked denomination in U.S. currency, but with the right year, the right mint mark, the right errors, and the right condition, it could also be the most rewarding. That 1972 D penny sitting quietly in your collection, or waiting to be discovered in a forgotten corner of your house, might just be the key to a life-changing discovery. Don't underestimate it. Look closely, learn the signs, and never stop searching, because sometimes it only takes 1 cent to make all the difference. Top 4. In the vast and fascinating world of coin collecting, certain coins capture not only the attention of passionate numismatists, but also the imagination of casual observers who never dreamed a simple penny could be worth a small fortune. One such coin is the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent penny, bearing the unmistakable Denver mint mark. At first glance, this penny might seem ordinary, tiny in size, red-brown in color, and found in countless change jars across the country. But don't be fooled by its modest appearance. There is a version of this coin that has shocked collectors and auction houses alike, selling for an incredible $130,000. Let's dive into what makes this coin so remarkable. First, consider its specifications. This coin weighs 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.55 millimeters, and is composed of copper-plated zinc. It is a round coin, as are all Lincoln cents, and it sports a rich red-brown hue that reflects a careful preservation of its copper-based surface, aging beautifully over the decades. On the obverse side, you'll find the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has defined the penny since 1909. The reverse side, as issued in 1980, proudly displays the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing the nation's reverence for its 16th president. The 1980 D. Lincoln penny was minted in vast quantities. Hundreds of millions were struck at the Denver Mint, making it seem common and unassuming. However, as any serious collector knows, quantity doesn't always diminish value. In fact, it often means that finding a rare error or pristine example is even more challenging, which only adds to its allure. That's what has happened with a few extraordinary examples of this year's penny. One of the main reasons for the skyrocketing value of certain 1980 D pennies is the presence of mint errors. These are mistakes that occurred during the striking process and resulted in coins that are dramatically different from the rest of their kind. Some of the most sought-after errors include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, die clashes, and struck-through debris. These errors can be subtle, requiring expert eyes to detect, or obvious, with clear visible abnormalities that jump out at you the moment the coin is examined. Among the most prized are examples with double dies, where elements of the design, like the lettering in Liberty, the date 1980, or the motto "In God We Trust," appear to be slightly shadowed or layered. This doubling results from a misalignment during the die creation process and, though rare, adds enormous value to a coin. Even light doubling, if authenticated and in pristine condition, can make an ordinary penny a six-figure prize. Another coveted feature is an off-metal strike, where a penny is struck on a planchet meant for another coin, like a dime or even a foreign coin. These are incredibly rare and are often the result of a minting anomaly where planchets from different coin types accidentally get mixed in. A 1980 D penny struck on a dime planchet, for example, would be thinner and smaller in diameter, instantly attracting numismatic attention, but rarity alone isn't enough. Condition is king in the world of coin collecting. Coins that remain in mint state, specifically grades like MS-65, MS-66, or even higher, fetch the highest premiums. Why? Because the vast majority of coins minted for circulation show immediate signs of wear, scratches from handling, loss of luster, or damage from being stored loosely. A 1980 D. Lincoln penny that somehow survived for more than 4 decades in untouched condition, maintaining its original sharp details, vibrant color, and unblemished surfaces, is a marvel in itself. Add to that the factor of toning, the natural color shift that copper undergoes over time. A red-brown coin, like the one we're discussing, has aged gracefully, retaining its fiery reddish hue while developing a warm brown tone that signals age, authenticity, and character. This patina, when even and aesthetically pleasing, can elevate a coin's appeal to both collectors and investors alike. So, how does a penny like this reach a value of 6 figures? It often starts when a coin like the 1980 D penny is sent to professional grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These organizations authenticate, grade, and encapsulate coins, providing official certification of their rarity and quality. Once verified, such coins become stars in the auction world, with collectors from around the globe vying for a chance to own a piece of numismatic history. One such 1980 D. Lincoln penny, preserved in outstanding mint state and featuring a rare die variety, made waves in the collector community when it sold for a staggering $130,000. That's right, a coin that once cost a mere cent, tucked into pockets and purses, now commands a price that rivals luxury cars and down payments on homes. But this story is more than just about one coin. It's a reminder of the hidden value that might be sitting in plain sight. Many people overlook pennies, disregarding them as spare change or tossing them aside. But within that copper glow might be an undiscovered gem waiting to be recognized, appraised, and valued. So, if you're a collector, hobbyist, or just someone curious about the possibilities, take a second look at the pennies you come across. Check for mint marks, inspect for errors, evaluate the condition, and always stay curious. The next great discovery could be in your pocket change, a forgotten jar, or your childhood collection stored in a drawer. The 1980 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of how history, rarity, craftsmanship, and chance can come together to create something truly extraordinary. And as one special example has proven, its value can soar to an unbelievable $130,000, a fortune made from a single cent. Top 5. In the vast world of American coinage, few coins carry the level of mystery, value, and numismatic fascination quite like the 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny without a mint mark. At first glance, it looks just like any other coin you might receive in everyday change, round, small, red-brown in color, bearing the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln. But behind this modest appearance lies a hidden treasure that has stunned collectors and shaken up the coin world. This specific penny, under the right circumstances, has been known to command a jaw-dropping value of $110,000. Let's take a closer look at why this coin, dated 1982, with no mint mark, and struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet, has earned such a reputation. First, we need to understand the historical context of 1982. That year was a transitional year for the United States Mint. Due to the rising cost of copper, the Mint shifted from using a predominantly copper alloy to a cheaper alternative, copper-plated zinc. This change didn't happen overnight. In fact, both copper-based 95% copper and zinc-based 97.5% zinc core with 2.5% copper plating pennies were struck during the same year. Because of this transition, 1982 became one of the most complex and intriguing years for Lincoln pennies. There were multiple varieties released, some large date, some small date, and with both copper and zinc compositions. Combine that with mint marks, or the lack thereof, and you suddenly have a breeding ground for variety, rarity, and potentially incredible value. The specific 1982 penny we're highlighting here is a no mint mark variety, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time didn't use a mint mark on its coins. It features the traditional Lincoln design on the obverse, with "In God We Trust" curved along the top, Liberty on the left, and the date 1982 on the right. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial sits proudly with the inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent above and below it, and the motto E pluribus unum spanning the space between the columns. The coin has the following specifications: a weight of 3.11 grams, a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.55 millimeters, and a copper-plated zinc composition. This weight is especially important. Why? Because one of the most crucial steps in identifying a valuable 1982 penny is weighing it. Copper pennies from that year weigh 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams. So, a no-mint mark 1982 penny weighing 3.11 grams and struck on a copper planchet is normal, while one weighing 2.5 grams would be struck on a zinc planchet and in the wrong variety. That mistake could make it incredibly rare. What's even more exciting is when errors emerge from this confusing transition. In rare cases, pennies intended to be made of zinc were mistakenly struck on copper planchets, or vice versa, at the wrong mint facility. These kinds of errors are exceptionally rare and have led to massive auction prices. A 1982 no-mint mark small date penny struck on a bronze planchet, for example, has been authenticated and sold for an astronomical sum because it wasn't supposed to exist. Another factor that elevates the value of this coin is grade. The better preserved the coin is, meaning the fewer scratches, dings, or signs of wear, the higher its grade, and the more money it can fetch. Coins graded MS-65, MS-66, or even MS-67 by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC are extremely desirable. When these rare 1982 pennies are found in such high grades, their value skyrockets. Collectors also pay close attention to visual details, such as the red-brown toning, which indicates how the coin is aged. A coin with this toning shows signs of both original mint luster and natural oxidation, which is expected of copper-plated coins over time. When the toning is even, attractive, and paired with minimal contact marks, it becomes even more collectible. Additionally, a small handful of 1982 Lincoln pennies have been discovered with double die obverse (DDO) errors. These are pennies where the lettering, date, or other features appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. These errors are not just oddities, they are coveted by collectors who specialize in variety coins. A genuine 1982 no-mint mark double die in great condition is enough to send bidding wars into the stratosphere. What's most amazing is that many of these high-value coins have been found by ordinary people. That's the magic of coin collecting. Hidden treasures often appear in unexpected places. A person might come across one of these valuable pennies in an old jar, a forgotten collection, or even in their pocket change. And unless you know exactly what to look for, like weight, design details, composition, and potential errors, it's easy to overlook a coin that could be worth more than a brand new car. The 1982 Lincoln penny without a mint mark is a perfect example of how something so small can hold so much history, complexity, and value. It's a coin that tells the story of a turning point in the U.S. mint's material strategy, while also showcasing how even the tiniest changes, whether in composition, design, or weight, can have massive implications for collectors. So the next time you're sorting through change or flipping through a coin album, remember to give special attention to the 1982 pennies. Weigh them, study them, look closely at the date style, whether it's a small or large date, and most importantly, check for errors. Because one of those coins, just like the remarkable specimen we've discussed today, might be the rare treasure that changes everything. And for that extremely rare 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, preserved in stunning condition, struck perfectly, and carrying a unique blend of rarity and historical importance, it is sold at auction for a staggering $110,000. A coin once worth 1 cent, now a prized possession that's making headlines in the numismatic world. Top 6. In the vast and storied landscape of American numismatics, few coins capture the imagination quite like the Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. Among the many cherished issues within this iconic series, the 1937 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. Though it may appear humble at first glance, just a small, red-brown coin tucked into an old collection or rattling in a forgotten coin jar, it is a powerful symbol of American resilience, history, and hidden value. Struck in 1937 at the Philadelphia Mint, this particular penny carries no mint mark, which was standard practice for Philadelphia issues at the time. It measures 19 millimeters in diameter, weighs 3.11 grams, and has a thickness of 1.4 millimeters. Its composition is copper-plated zinc, and its shape is perfectly round, unchanged from its original design by Victor David Brenner, who first introduced the Lincoln cent in 1909 to mark the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse features a strong, stoic bust of Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing right with the motto, "In God We Trust," proudly arching above his head. Liberty rests to the left, while the year 1937 is etched clearly to the right. Turn the coin over, and the reverse reveals the equally iconic wheat stalks on either side, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above it all is the motto, E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one, speaking to the unity and diversity of the nation during a period of deep economic recovery following the Great Depression. The coin itself served as a symbol of hope and progress, small in size, yet large in purpose. Now, what makes this 1937 wheat penny so extraordinary in the world of coin collecting? While millions of these coins were produced, what elevates certain specimens into the realm of incredible value are factors like condition, rarity, minting anomalies, and historical significance. In this case, a flawless example of the 1937 no mint mark penny in mint state condition, specifically MS 67 or higher, with a beautiful red-brown luster, is considered highly scarce. Most of the coins minted during this era saw heavy circulation. They passed through countless hands, were dropped in dusty store floors, slipped into pockets, and buried in coin jars. As such, it's rare to find one today with original luster, sharp strike details, and minimal contact marks. But beyond condition, collectors are constantly hunting for errors and varieties, which can dramatically increase a coin's desirability and worth. The 1937 wheat penny is known to sometimes appear with die cracks, off-center strikes, double die obverse, DDO, variations, and even repunched dates or mint marks on other versions. While this coin from the Philadelphia Mint lacks a mint mark, any signs of doubling in the lettering, date, or even Lincoln's profile can command enormous interest from collectors specializing in error coins. Equally fascinating is the historical backdrop of this penny. The year 1937 marked a crucial moment in American recovery from the Great Depression. Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal was in full swing, and public morale was beginning to rise. While just a penny, the coin stood as a testament to national perseverance, a small artifact from a time when every cent mattered to the average American family. That historical connection adds a powerful emotional layer for collectors who value not just the metal, but the story embedded in the coin's surface. It's also worth noting that the copper plating used during this time gave coins a rich, earthy tone. And the best preserved examples still shimmer today with that classic red-brown glow. Combine that toning with the right eye appeal, and you've got a coin that doesn't just look valuable, it radiates rarity and prestige. Auction houses have confirmed the desirability of such coins. While the 1937 wheat penny is common in lower grades, finding one that grades near perfect and exhibits all the right attributes, original surfaces, strong strike, error variation, and minimal wear, is extremely rare. When such a coin comes to market, it can ignite fierce bidding wars among collectors, investors, and historical enthusiasts alike. And that brings us to the jaw-dropping value of this remarkable coin. One particular specimen of the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny, with no mint mark and preserved in pristine, eye-catching condition, was authenticated by a top-tier grading company and sold for an absolutely staggering price. Thanks to its scarcity, beauty, and historical weight, it fetched an auction value of $266,000. That's right, what was once worth just 1 cent is now a collector's prize worth more than a luxury car, a home deposit, or a lifetime of pocket change. So the next time you see a 1937 penny, especially one without a mint mark, don't dismiss it as just another piece of small change. It might be a key to a forgotten chapter of American history. It might be a rare survivor of time. And if you're lucky enough, it might just be the coin that turns your ordinary pocket change into an extraordinary fortune. Top 7. The Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny has been a cornerstone of American coinage since its introduction in 1909, and among the many years and varieties it was minted, the 1941 no mint mark wheat penny stands out as a powerful symbol of American endurance and legacy. Struck during a pivotal moment in world history, this small copper coin carries with it the spirit of a nation on the brink of war, and in today's collecting world, it can command a truly astonishing value, especially when preserved in immaculate condition. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny so captivating. At first glance, it might look like any other penny from your change jar, but under a numismatist's trained eye, it holds layers of detail, artistry, and historical relevance that transform it into a collectible treasure. The coin weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters, with a thickness of 1.4 millimeters. Made from copper-plated zinc, it radiates a rich red-brown color when well preserved. The familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln faces right on the obverse, marked by the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, in the year 1941 clearly displayed on the right. There is no mint mark on this coin, indicating that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest and most prestigious minting facility in the United States. Flipping the coin over, the reverse reveals 2 elegant wheat stalks arched along the sides, enclosing the words 1 cent and United States of America, all crowned by the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. The simplicity of the design contrasts with its powerful message, a nation united during uncertain times. The year 1941 was historically significant. As the United States stood at the edge of its entry into World War II, the world was already engulfed in conflict. At home, citizens were beginning to mobilize for war efforts. Rationing, economic pressure, and a spirit of unity were in the air. This penny, minted just before the infamous attack on Pearl Harbor, is a living artifact from a time when every coin truly mattered and patriotism ran deep. What elevates a 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny to legendary status is more than just its age. It's all about the condition, rarity, and sometimes, errors. In circulated condition, these coins are relatively common and can still be found in collections or coin rolls. But when a coin has survived more than 80 years in near-perfect condition, graded at MS 67 or higher, with a natural red-brown toning and sharp strike, it becomes a scarce prize for collectors. The lustrous shine, the lack of contact marks, the crisp details in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks, these features define its appeal. Collectors also keep a close eye out for error varieties. While the 1941 penny from Philadelphia isn't as notorious for errors as some other years, there have been confirmed examples with striking abnormalities. These include double die obverse, where you might see slight doubling in the lettering or the date, and die cracks or off-center strikes, all of which increase a coin's value significantly. Even minor irregularities can transform a common coin into a 6-figure marvel when combined with an exceptional state of preservation. Moreover, this coin has sentimental and historical appeal. For many collectors, especially those interested in World War II-era Americana, the 1941 penny isn't just a monetary asset, it's a time capsule. It tells a story of resilience, of a country preparing for global conflict, and of the American people's strength and unity. Holding such a coin is like holding a whisper from the past, a tangible reminder of the hands that used it during a critical time in history. Auction houses have been known to attract intense bidding wars when a top-grade 1941 no-mint mark penny becomes available. The combination of history, beauty, and rarity is irresistible to serious collectors. These coins have been authenticated and graded by major third-party services like PCGS or NGC, giving buyers confidence in their authenticity and condition. And when all the right elements come together, a rare mint state, a captivating luster, and strong historical value, the price can climb to jaw-dropping levels. So, what is the true worth of this tiny, reddish-brown coin from 1941? In one exceptional case, a superb example of the 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny, with no mint mark, sold at a high-end numismatic auction for a breathtaking $225,000. That's right, what once bought a stick of gum or a postage stamp is now worth more than many luxury vehicles or even a house in some parts of the country. This isn't just about money. It's about discovering value in the overlooked. It's about understanding that something as small and ordinary as a penny can carry enormous meaning. And if you ever come across a 1941 wheat penny, look closely. Examine its details. Feel its weight. Because you might just be holding not only a piece of American history, but also a fortune hiding in plain sight. Top 8. In the world of coin collecting, few coins spark the imagination and excitement of collectors quite like the Lincoln Wheat Penny. These small copper coins, minted throughout the first half of the 20th century, have become timeless relics of American heritage. And today, we're going to dive deep into one very special coin, one that may seem ordinary at first glance but could be worth a small fortune to the right collector. We're talking about the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark, a coin whose story is tied to a turning point in world history and whose value in pristine condition has soared to an astonishing $205,000 at first glance. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny might look like the countless others produced in the mid-1940s. But its true worth lies in the details, both historical and physical. Minted in Philadelphia, this coin bears no mint mark, a subtle detail that links it to one of the most iconic and oldest mints in the United States. Weighing 3.11 grams, measuring 19 millimeters in diameter, and 1.4 millimeters in thickness, it was struck using a copper-plated zinc composition, a choice influenced by wartime demands. By this time, the U.S. Mint had returned to using copper after the brief 1943 steel sin experiment. As copper availability stabilized toward the end of World War II, the design on this penny is as iconic as American currency gets. On the obverse, we see the enduring portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, created by Victor David Brenner. This image has adorned the 1-cent coin since 1909, marking it as one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. Above Lincoln's head, the national motto, "In God We Trust," arches boldly. To the left, the word "Liberty" anchors the design, and to the right, the date 1945 is etched clearly, linking this penny to one of the most important years in modern history, the year World War II ended. The reverse of the coin features two stylized wheat ears curving inward from the left and right edges, hence the term wheat penny. Between them rests the inscription 1 cent and United States of America. Above it, the Latin phrase e pluribus unum reminds us of unity, out of many, one. This simple yet elegant design evokes a sense of post-war optimism, a reminder that the country was moving forward into a new chapter. But what makes the 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark so valuable today? It's not merely about rarity in the traditional sense. Millions of these coins were struck. However, what elevates a 1945 no mint mark wheat penny to elite status is its condition, preservation, and in some cases, subtle minting errors. Most wheat pennies from this era saw heavy circulation. They jangled in the pockets of factory workers, soldiers returning home, and families rebuilding their lives after years of war. As a result, finding a 1945 penny in mint state condition, untouched by circulation, with its luster intact and details razor-sharp, is an extraordinary event. Collectors hunt for coins with high grades, particularly those certified MS 66 or higher by respected grading services such as PCGS or NGC. These coins exhibit a near-perfect strike, minimal to no contact marks, and a radiant coppery red hue that glows with vintage beauty. Additionally, some 1945 wheat pennies possess subtle minting anomalies. What collectors call errors or varieties. A few rare examples may show signs of doubling on the date or lettering, where the impression from the die was slightly misaligned, creating a double die effect. Others may have off-center strikes or die cracks that occurred during the minting process. While these flaws would be insignificant in common modern coins, they add immense value and uniqueness to vintage pieces like this one. What's more, the historical significance of the 1945 penny adds an emotional layer to its appeal. This coin was born in the same year that the Second World War came to a close. It's a symbol of hope, victory, and new beginnings. It circulated, or perhaps never circulated at all, at a time when the world was transforming, when American soldiers were returning home, and when industries were shifting from war production back to civilian needs. Holding this penny is like holding a silent witness to history, a piece of copper that existed in the hands of those who built the post-war world. Because of this deep historical connection and the difficulty in finding uncirculated or error versions, auction houses and private collectors have placed extraordinary value on top-tier examples. The highest price paid for a flawless 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark reached a stunning $205,000. That's right, what was once a single cent could now buy luxury cars, real estate, or even a child's college education. And it begs the question, how many people today unknowingly hold potential treasure in their collections, coin jars, or forgotten drawers? Could you be one of them? If you happen to come across a 1945 wheat penny in excellent condition, take a closer look. Examine its surface for shine, smoothness, and clarity. Check for doubling in the letters or numbers. Compare its weight, thickness, and even its tone. Then, consider having it graded and authenticated by a professional service. This humble coin, often dismissed as ordinary, may very well be an extraordinary survivor, a copper relic of resilience, freedom, and transformation. In a world of changing values, the Lincoln Wheat Penny remains a symbol of enduring worth, where history, craftsmanship, and legacy come together in the palm of your hand. Top 9. In the vast and fascinating world of coin collecting, some of the most extraordinary treasures come in the smallest packages. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series is one of the most cherished and iconic coin sets ever produced by the United States Mint. And among this historic family of coins, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny stands out as a remarkable piece, a humble 1-cent coin that, under the right circumstances, has become a symbol of hidden wealth, with some pristine examples reaching an incredible value of $180,000. Let's take a deep and fascinating dive into the story of this rare and collectible coin. Minted in the year 1950 at the Denver Mint, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny was born into a post-war America, a country still adjusting to the enormous changes of the 1940s. The war had ended 5 years earlier, and the U.S. was in a period of growth, optimism, and transformation. This little penny, minted in vast quantities to meet growing economic demand, was part of a booming economy. It traveled through the hands of factory workers, store clerks, young children buying candy, and families building new homes in the suburbs. But not all 1950 pennies were created equal. While millions were minted, only a very few were set aside, preserved, and kept in flawless condition. These are the coins that drive collectors wild, the rare survivors in uncirculated, mint-state grades, with sharp details, unblemished surfaces, and that unmistakable red-brown luster that collectors crave. The design of the coin itself remains a powerful tribute to America's 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features a right-facing profile of Lincoln, his gaze firm and determined. Above his head, the motto, "In God We Trust," is proudly displayed, while "Liberty" rests to his left and the date, 1950, stands strong on the right side of the coin. Below the date, the small D mint mark reveals its birthplace, the historic Denver Mint in Colorado. On the reverse side, 2 graceful wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the classic motto, E pluribus unum, arching across the top. This wheat reverse design had been in use since 1909 and continued until 1958, making it one of the most iconic and recognizable motifs in U.S. coinage. It represents not only American agriculture and prosperity, but also a simpler, yet powerful, period in U.S. history. Now, what exactly makes this particular penny so valuable today? While the 1950 D. Lincoln penny was produced in large numbers, over 334 million coins. Only a minuscule fraction have survived the decades in exceptional, mint-state condition. Coins that have never entered circulation, untouched by time, free from scratches, stains, and wear, are incredibly rare. When one of these coins is graded MS 66, MS 67, or even higher by top grading services like PCGS or NGC, its value can skyrocket. In addition to superb condition, there are sometimes small errors or varieties that add further excitement. Some 1950 D wheat pennies have been found with minor minting anomalies, such as die cracks, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These small mistakes can significantly increase the appeal and value of a coin. Even a slightly misaligned die can produce a one-of-a-kind variety, making the coin more desirable to collectors who specialize in error coins. There's also something incredibly nostalgic and patriotic about the Lincoln Wheat Penny. It reminds Americans of a time when life was changing rapidly, when cars were getting faster, televisions were becoming household staples, and new suburbs were rising across the country. Holding a coin from 1950 is like holding a small piece of that transition, that cultural shift, and that historical momentum. The materials used in this penny are also worth noting. Weighing 3.11 grams and struck on a copper alloy planchet composed primarily of copper with a zinc coating, the coin has a lovely, warm red-brown color. That color plays a crucial role in grading and valuation. Coins with a vibrant red hue, or those retaining their original copper brilliance, are always more highly sought after than duller or darker examples. Eye appeal is everything in numismatics, and the 1950 D wheat penny, when perfectly preserved, delivers it in full. For most people, a penny is just that, a small, nearly forgotten coin of little use in today's economy. But for collectors, it represents opportunity, adventure, and a connection to history. And when you find a coin like the 1950 D wheat penny in top condition, its monetary value tells only part of the story. The real story is about the journey the coin has taken, from the minting press in Denver to potentially sitting hidden in an attic, a collection, or a coin jar, waiting to be discovered and appreciated once more. And here's the most thrilling part. One extraordinary specimen of the 1950 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, in pristine, museum-quality condition, with strong luster, perfect strike, and no signs of handling or wear, was recently valued at a jaw-dropping $180,000. That's right. A coin once worth just 1 cent could now be worth more than many luxury cars, more than the average college tuition, and even more than some homes. It's proof that extraordinary value can be hiding in the most unexpected places. In this case, inside a simple copper coin from 1950.so. If you're a collector, a hobbyist, or even just someone with a jar of old coins tucked away in a drawer, take a close look. You may be holding on to a piece of American history, a coin whose story has just begun. The next time you come across a 1950 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, don't pass it by. Inspect its surface, appreciate its beauty, and remember, sometimes the smallest treasures carry the greatest value. Top 10. In the world of rare coins, few hold as much fascination and nostalgic power as the Lincoln Wheat Penny. It is more than just a piece of copper. It is a miniature time capsule of American history. And among this beloved series, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a true standout. While millions were minted, only a select few have survived in exceptional condition, and those rare specimens have gone on to fetch astonishing prices in the world of numismatics. In fact, one such example has sold for an incredible $135,000. Let's explore why this seemingly ordinary penny from 1958 is anything but ordinary. The year 1958 was a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage history. It marked the final year that the wheat reverse design was issued for circulation. After nearly 5 decades, the United States Mint would say farewell to the two iconic stalks of wheat and welcome the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. Coinciding with the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. So the 1958 wheat penny represents not just a coin, it represents the closing chapter of a classic American design. The coin was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it carries no mint mark. Coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint traditionally do not feature a mint mark unless designated in special series. With over 250 million 1958 pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint, it might seem that this coin is anything but rare. But here's where the story takes an interesting turn. Survival in perfect condition is an entirely different matter. The majority of 1958 Lincoln Wheat Pennies entered circulation, passed through countless hands, and were subjected to years of wear and tear. Only a tiny fraction were preserved in mint state condition, coins that never circulated, that never saw a pocket, a purse, or a vending machine. These are the coins that collectors chase: bright, original, red-brown toned pennies with a sharp strike and lustrous surface. Victor David Brenner's timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse remains as dignified as ever, featuring the 16th president with a solemn, noble expression. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" arch over the top, while "Liberty" flanks Lincoln's left and the date 1958 sits just under his chin. With no mint mark, the area below the date is clean and uncluttered, classic and unmistakable. The reverse, of course, is where the nostalgia truly lives. Two sheaves of wheat curve up the sides, enclosing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, while E Pluribus Unum caps the top. It's a beautifully symmetrical and agriculturally themed design, simple, elegant, and distinctly American. But what elevates a 1958 wheat penny from pocket change to a five-figure rarity? It all comes down to condition and details. Collectors seek out coins in the highest possible grade, often certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. A 1958 Lincoln penny graded MS 67 or MS 68, with strong eye appeal and virtually no flaws, is extraordinarily scarce. Coins with this level of perfection have survived the minting process without contact marks, scratches, or discoloration. No small feat for a coin made of soft copper. There are also varieties and minting errors that can push the value higher. While not as famous as the 1955 double die penny, there have been reports of subtle die clashes, repunched dates, or minor doubling on some 1958 cents. When authenticated and paired with excellent condition, these features can make a penny especially desirable to error specialists and serious numismatists. It's also important to understand that 1958 was a transitional year. As the final issue of the Wheat Penny series, collectors began hoarding them. But those hoards rarely included coins in the highest mint state grades. Most people kept circulated examples or rolls straight from the bank, which still might show minor contact marks or fading luster. So, finding a 1958 penny in pristine, blazing red condition with no mint mark is a far rarer event than the mintage figures would suggest. The copper content of this coin also adds to its allure. Weighing in at 3.11 grams and made of mostly copper with a light zinc coating, the coin has a rich red-brown hue when preserved properly. This natural coloration gives the coin warmth and personality. No two copper coins age in exactly the same way. Collectors place a high premium on coins that retain that bright, fiery red tone, especially when it comes to vintage scents like this. Imagine stumbling across this unassuming coin in a collection or inherited jar of pennies. At first glance, it might seem like any other old cent. But to the trained eye, the sharpness of the strike, the richness of the color, and the untouched surface reveal its true identity, a rare gem in a sea of copper. And that's exactly what happened in the coin collecting community when one flawless 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny, certified as being in near-perfect mint state condition, was sold at auction. Its final price? A jaw-dropping $135,000. That's the magic of coin collecting. What was once spare change used to buy candy or a soda at the corner store can become a treasure of immense historical and monetary value. Coins like the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny remind us that history is all around us, and sometimes it's sitting quietly in our pockets, waiting to be rediscovered. The next time you sort through old coins or inherit a jar of change, take a closer look. That plain old penny might just be a window into the past and a gateway to a fortune.